The gift of the Lord endures for those who are godly, and what he approves will have lasting success. There is a man who is rich through his diligence and self-denial, and this is the reward allotted to him when he says, I have found rest, and now I shall enjoy my goods. He does not know how much time will pass until he leaves them to others and dies. Doesn't this go back to the rich fool of last week's reading in the gospel? Stand by your covenant and attend to it, and grow old in your work. Do not wonder at the works of a sinner, but trust in the Lord and keep at your toil. For it is easy in the sight of the Lord to enrich a poor man quickly and suddenly. The blessing of the Lord is a reward of the godly, and quickly God causes his blessing to flourish. Do not say, what do I need, and what prosperity could be mine in the future? Do not say, I have enough, and what calamity could happen to me in the future? In the days of prosperity, adversity is forgotten. In the day of adversity, prosperity is not remembered. And so if everything's going good, you don't think about things happening. And I always remember back when I was a kid, you think you're invincible. When you're 18, 20 years old, you think nothing's going to happen to me. I'm invincible. I can do whatever. But then you start seeing your grandparents die and your parents die, and you start seeing your friends die and family, and it really strikes you. For it is easy in the sight of the Lord to reward a man on the day of death according to his conduct. So we will be rewarded according to our conduct. Don't forget that. We will have an accounting, just like we said in the gospel. Again, see how all these things pull back. It's one truth. We will have an accounting for what we did. And so we wanted to be prepared. Live the gospel. Live, try to be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Get on the narrow road. Follow that narrow road. Forgive others. Love one another. I mean, God gives us a bunch of stuff. And if you're not on that path, you say, Lord, I need your help. Help me get on the path. And you're in the right place, because all of us here will try to help each other to stay on the path. We're a community of believers, so we're trying to, the church, this is my philosophy. The church is supposed to be a saint-making factory, right? Each one individually made. We're created as saints. They should be cranking out saints for God. And if it's not doing that, it's failing. And each one of us should be influencing others. Somebody said we're either bringing everybody a little bit closer to heaven or pulling everybody down a little bit closer to hell. And so what are you going to be? Are you going to be an anchor, or are you going to be a balloon? Try to be a balloon. The misery of an hour makes one forget luxury, and at the close of a man's life, his deeds will be revealed. Call no one happy before his death. A man will be known through his children. Do not bring every man into your home, for many are the wiles of the crafty. Like a decoy partridge in a cage, so is the mind of a proud man. And like a spy, he observes your weakness, for he lies in wait, turning good into evil, and to worthy actions he will attach blame. From a spark of fire come many burning coals, and a sinner lies in the wait to shed blood. Beware of a scoundrel, for he devises evil, lest he give you a lasting blemish. Receive a stranger into your home, and he will upset you with commotion, and he will estrange you from your family. And so it's kind of important that we are careful, that we keep company with, that we're called to be, maintain the company of believers. That doesn't mean we're not going to interact with people in the world. We will. But we have to be careful, because most people, when they interact with, they kind of pick up the same traits. If you're hanging out with people that are doing wickedness, and if you join a gang, you might be doing things that the gang does, right? That's just a fact. Birds of a feather flock together. And so we have to have a little bit of sense, and that's this whole Sirach is giving you sense. Don't hang around evildoers. Don't invite people that, might cut your throat, go on a trip in the dark, because they might cut your throat. It's kind of simple. And we go a little bit further on, and it's going to talk about if somebody's a snake charmer and they get bit by a snake, well, they kind of had it coming, they were doing reckless, crazy things. And so no one's going to really feel too sorry for them. So there's a lot of wisdom in this whole book. But we'll stop there on, does anybody have any comments? Any questions, comments?
I said no.
No, I mean, it's good. It's good. Is there anything that struck you in the readings so far today? Anything that you heard or really struck you? You mentioned about how do we, prepare? How do we get ready? How do we know that we're living the right kind of life? And I think a part of it is examine your life and look at your life, and do you know what sin is? And then go to confession and stay in the state of grace and get habits of good things and following righteousness. And pray, hope, and don't worry in a lot of ways, because we don't want to be, and that's a perfect remedy for scrupulosity in a lot of ways, is that, we got to rely on God, trust in Him, surrender.
That's really hard. It's like, because I review that every night, the surrendering. How do you know you're surrendered? I know, you're going through the steps and the motions, you're out of mortal sin, and, you're trying to do follow a good life and everything like that. So, what more is there? You're hoping to be on that little narrow path, right? But are you? I don't know. And are you surrendering? How do you do that?
What do you mean, how do you do it?
How do you do that? I know that I can't do anything myself.
Right.
So.
You do the little you can, right? You do what God, so God put you in a situation, so you're in a vocation, right? You're a mother, a grandmother, you're in charge of things, and so the vocation you're given, are you doing it the best you can as, leading, trying to do the best you can? Also in your own life, are you avoiding sin? Are you rooting out the root causes of sins? Are you staying in a state of grace? These are kind of like the basic things where it's like, I'm going to stay in the state of grace. You have to avoid sin, right? So just we started off with the act of contrition. Oh my God, I'm heartily sorry. Are you heartily sorry for your sins? Why? Because they offended you? Are you avoiding the near occasions of sins? That's another aspect, so when you look at your life, and you have to have a little bit of hope, you're hoping for heaven. You're required to hope for heaven. And you're doing what you can. Do you have a desire for heaven? I guess that's part of it too. St. Teresa of Avila said, people don't reach highest levels of perfection because they don't desire it. Are you desiring heaven? We should have this longing for heaven. And if you don't have a longing for heaven, you do it. I just go, okay, Lord, I'm not really longing heaven. It's not really a great, I've done this before. It's like, I guess I should long for heaven. I can't see it. I can't taste it. I can't feel it. Help me long for heaven. And He will. And so you got to trust that He will too. I think that's part of it. And so, but the very basics are stay in the state of grace. Examine your life, stay in the state of grace, and just be a good Catholic, be a good person, be a good mom, be a good grandmother, be a good friend. These are like the basic things. And then be a person of integrity at work. Control your angers and lusts and your tongue and, just all the things in the world that would draw anyone down. Just this in general, but just these are the things to control. And when you do that, and it may be, when you start out, it may take some time. It's like, you may go and you may say, I got some problems in these areas. Well, be gracious with yourself too. And just when you fall, say, Lord, I need more help. I keep asking for more. That's what I do. If I'm having a problem in an area, say, Lord, I need more help. You obviously see, I'm just a small child here, and I need more help. I'm on the short bus. I need a lot more help. So help me, Lord, please.
Isn't there also a surrender prayer?
Yeah.
I do that every night.
You're on the right path. So you're doing your prayers, right? You have habits of prayers.
Right.
You're trying to stay in the state of grace. Yeah. You're trying to live a righteous life, right? And you're working out your salvation with fear and trembling. And that's not a bad thing, because St. Alphonsus Liguori, he said, he had a big argument with himself, should I have the peanut butter on the bread or not, during this. And he's a doctor of the church, But I mean, I think there should be a struggle, because right now, not many people are struggling for holiness. Not many people are struggling for righteousness, and we have to be the exception. And is it going to be easy? No. Are we going to fall sometimes? Yes. And I think you have to, if you're expecting only perfection and I will never fail, well, you're setting yourself up for failure. Go ahead, Kyle.
I'll just add one to end with something super positive, is that, in the gospel it's talking about the treasures stored up in heaven. The common theological belief is after a mortal sin, if you go to confession, the treasure's reinstated, that you're not losing it forever. So, like, not lose hope when you fall. Like, if you've done a lot of good and then something comes along, you fall, like, if you're sorry, you go to confession, that the common belief is that it gets reinstated, that you don't lose it all permanently. So, that may be a rather selfish way of looking at it, but it can be motivation to not get too discouraged. Like, oh crap, I just threw away all my.
I just blew everything. Yeah. What the heck? And so going back here, that's the perfect. It says here, do not be afraid any longer, little flock. Little flock. These are very loving, enduring terms, right? Do not be afraid any longer, for the Father is pleased to give you the kingdom. The next thing he says, sell what you have and give alms. So giving alms is pretty important too. And so if alms giving isn't part of your life, that's something. Alms giving covers a multitude of sin. So we should be helping others. And not many people say that. So Audrey, go get the collection basket. No, I'm just joking. I couldn't resist in that. But I mean, we should be giving alms. We should be helping others. We've been given so much. We have to help others. We can't just hoard it all up and then, leave it for other people to give away when you die. Help. And it's good. This is what we're called to do. God gave you these blessings and these treasures because he wants you to help others with it. And so that's important too. We don't talk about that much, but we should be doing almsgiving. It's very important. And does that mean give it to only the Archdiocese of Detroit? I would say no. There's a lot of causes that, in my opinion, might even be better. And, so especially if things aren't, going exactly the way you think, then give to where God's calling you to give. That's what I'd say. Give to where God's calling, but give alms. Don't use that as an excuse to say, well, I'm not going to give any alms anymore because I don't like this archbishop who's going against a lot of the things. And so we want to give alms no matter what. Give it alms because it will cover a multitude of sins. But the Father is pleased to give you the kingdom. And so we'll end with that.